I think Fran McCaffery is healthy, and he's always a good listen. So let's do that.
I say that all the time, but I really mean it. It's the deepest team we've ever had. We had an opportunity this summer to practice 10 extra times and travel overseas and play 4 games, assimilate our young players, Luka Garza and Jack Nungy and Connor McCaffery, into the lineup. And, you know, I think that puts us in a place where, you know, with the experience we have coming back, our young guys getting ready, you know, we can absorb the loss of the Big Ten's leading scorer in Peter Jock.
Thank you, Coach. We'll open it up for questions. Let's go front row right on the aisle.
Adam Jardy, the Columbus Dispatch. You just mentioned obviously having to replace a guy like Peter Jock, and it seemed like last year you had a lot of guys that helped you sort of bridge that transition when he was injured. What is that like, kind of guiding that when you rely on a guy like that for so long? He does so many great things, and you have to have guys ready to take over when he leaves. How are you able to bridge that sort of transition during the latter part of the season and then into this year?
I think what happened was it really manifested itself in the beginning of the season. We were really relying on Pete. I remember the Memphis game. Pete goes for 42. We lose 100-92. So the message was, if we don't start playing defense, you know, we're going to struggle to win. And if we don't give him some help, then we're not going to win either, not in this league. So we started playing better defense. Others started stepping up. You knew it was going to happen with Tyler Cook. You knew it was going to happen with Bohannon. But it was Nicholas Baer, Cordell Pemsel, Isaiah Moss. And the critical thing there is, with Pete gone and having already played 4 games overseas, those individuals have now stepped into new roles as well. And in particular, Isaiah Moss. I mean, he's a guy that is incredibly talented, had phenomenal games last year. There were times when I didn't play him down the stretch. I played Peter Jock and Nicholas Baer. But this year it's going to be his opportunity to shine, and you know, he is playing really well, played really well over the summer, shot close to 70% for the trip, shooting mostly threes. You know, shot well over 50% from 3 on the trip. So, you know, there's a guy who's now in his 3rd year of college. It's, I think, ready to step up and fill that role.
Let's go left-hand side, midway back on the aisle.
Hey, Coach. EJ Zarrett, Sporting News. What did Jordan Bohannon's play mean for your team last year, and what are you expecting from him this year?
Well, it was interesting because obviously the position was open, you know, upon the departure of Mike Cassell. So it was either going to be Christian Williams or Jordan Bohannon. The season started with Christian in the starting lineup. He was playing really well. It ended up flipping with Jordan in the starting lineup, Christian coming off the bench. So the position was well handled. Both are dramatically different, but I think what we had in that position with Jordan was a legitimate scoring option. You know, he could make 8 threes like he did against Maryland. You know, he could go for a big night. But the other thing he did was make big shots late in close games. Did it against, you know, he has the ability to hit those dagger threes and those big shots late. So that gives you a weapon, especially when you're trying to get the ball inside to Cordell Pemsel, Tyler Cook, you know, Ryan Kriener, this year Luka Garza, Jack Nungy. We've got legitimate low post scoring threats. You've got to surround them with guys that can pass and guys that can make threes. So you have Jordan Bohannon, Isaiah Moss, Nicholas Baer, Brady Ellingson. You know, I think we have that.
Going to go all the way on the right-hand side at the round tables.
Jeremiah Davis, Cedar Rapids Gazette. Coach, you've got Tyler and Jordan here. They both mentioned you want them to be leaders this year. Why them, and what have they shown in practice so far to step into those roles?
Well, you know, they're going to be starters. You know, I think you want leadership out of your starting lineup. Jordan, of course, is the point guard. You want leadership out of that position. You know, and you just want guys that establish themselves as, you know, 2 of the better players in our league to kind of take that next step. They were all rookie players, and you hope eventually they become all league players.
All the way back row, left-hand side.
Nathan Baird, Lafayette Journal and Courier. Just your thoughts on the 20-game schedule, and I guess specifically the protected in-state and regional rivalries, and why or why not that's a good thing for the conference and college basketball at large.
Well, I think in terms of the rivalries, I think, you know, that's for the fans in many respects. It creates interest in that state, television interest. So I think, you know, it stands to reason when you have a traditional rival, you play those teams. And I think it's good that our league recognized that and has provided those opportunities. The 20 league schedule, I think, is a matter of just sort of what you have to do. You know, I think the analytics will tell you that playing 20 league games will provide a greater strength of schedule for all of us. Typically, the numbers tell you it gets one more team in per year, per conference, and we all want that. Certainly for us, last year we were first 4 out. I think we were the first team out. So by playing, you know, 2 more league games, there's so many positives there. I think TV wants it, great TV matchups, the fans want it. But ultimately, I think it helps your strength of schedule, your RPI, and I think it plays well, you know, with the committee.
Time for another question or two. Oh, front row, left-hand side.
Hi, Fran. Dave Jones from PennLive.com. You were talking about regionalization and part of the rationale for that. What has ever come up when the coaches have talked about making the Big Ten into 2 divisions of the way football is? Has that ever been a consideration in trying to foster a regional feel in this conference that's so sprawling now?
I think that's a legitimate question, but I have to be honest with you, we really didn't talk about divisions. You know, it makes sense when you talk about certainly my previous answer, but you know, that's not something that really was, you know, had any legs in terms of the conversation.
Time for one more question. All right, seeing none. Thanks, Coach. Good luck this year.